Well, hey everybody, this is Don with the Vlog of Many Things, and to my right is
Tom?
and down below us is say your name,
Tenka!
Tenkar. Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. We are.
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to do three different kind of subjects, probably more than that as people start watching and commenting. We're going to talk about, first we're going to talk about stupid morons in gaming. Then we're going to get into talking about gaming with kids and getting involved. Like Tom is heavily involved. He's going to take the cue on this one when we start to get into it. And then we're going to talk about alignment alternatives.
Yeah.
So it's going to kind of be kind of a all over show tonight. Eric, by the way, thank you very much for coming on. I know it's kind of last minute.
No, my pleasure. If there was any hold up tonight, it was me squeezing in the dog walk and then forgetting that tonight's garbage night here in my part of Queens. I was like, oh shit.
Paul, welcome to the show. Theatus, as always, welcome to the show. Parasocial audience, can you quit changing your name? Every video you change your name.
But you got the same icon.
Yeah, it says, "Hail Lord Zeno, hail Princess Zeno Long, may they reign us or over us." And then Terry R, thank you for tuning in to the video also.
Don't forget Patron.
What's that? Oh, Paul, sorry about that, Paul. Where are you at up here? Paul, my apologies to you, my friend. I got you lost in the mix up here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Paul's a good sort.
Yes, he is. Want to kind of start off with, as everybody knows, we have had Eric, me, and Tom have been the brunt, the spearhead. I'm trying to sound like really macho cool about it. You know what I mean? We've been kind of like
Joe Macho Man.
Yeah, basically. But we've been the target of an individual online who goes by many names. Eric, let's see, Tom.
He of many names that shall not be named.
Yeah, he's got Vagina Man, VGAPMI 1895.
I named
He's
him
got, what's that?
I named him that.
Tom named him that. So we got VGAPMI. We've got Mario Real. Mario is back.
Mario 77.
Mario 77. Then Mario, there's a couple of them with Mario, like 10 or 15 numbers. Like I think he was like falling over, like maybe passed out for meth overdose while he's hitting the keyboard. There is Chad's Revenge, which I think Chad's Revenge is actually a really evil guy who likes to do DMing a lot. Don't ask me.
I think really you're right.
Yeah. And yeah, so I don't know, but I can guarantee we don't pay for subscribers here or followers.
Parasocial's got a nice name here. If you want to click on that.
He, the deck of many dickheads. You know what? That sounds like a really cool view. No, I want to use that as an NPC name. Hey, Parasocial audience, can I use that as a new NPC name?
And Addis has a biblical name there.
Legion. By the way, Theatus, just between me and you, I do coding too. I liked your DNS joke. Nobody else probably got it on Facebook, but I like the DNS joke you made earlier on Facebook. But he made a geek joke. Okay, guys, you gotta be a little bit of programming, like
You gotta be a little bit of a
websites to know what DNS is in order to. Well, never mind. I'm doing my mouth off. But so the latest little bit that Mr. VGAPMI did is the other night me and my wife got on, did a video, and I'm posting this with my wife's permission because my wife thinks he's just an asshole, just like I do. Let's see. Thea says, "Thanks, Don," and then says, "Oh man, I love it when anything I come up is used by fellow gamers." So let me show you guys his comment that he made. And I find this comment actually pretty poetic given the situation with mugshots and other people's situation happening right now. But let me pull it up here real quick. And this is what he posted. He posted, "Nasty looking woman. This is even a new low for you, Don the Con."
Well,
now,
can I interject?
Absolutely.
A little piece of wisdom here. People who live in glass houses should not throw stones.
Yeah.
I just want to say.
I'm not saying I know what a crackhead looks like, but I know what a crackhead looks
But
like.
you know the crackhead looks like.
Yes.
But basically, these are some of the other comments he's made. Tom, this is from your video. He said, this is about a week ago. He said, "So you're going to be at North Texas Scam Con? I plan to come down and confront Don in person. I want to break this down step by step. I thought he was going to come down and confront me, but I thought the FBI or the feds were after me down there. Didn't he say, Eric, that you and Bad Mike hid me out or something while I was down there being chased?"
I got the screenshot somewhere, but law enforcement was coming for you, and then you took off, and we hid you.
Yes.
You escaped because Bad Mike and Tenkar hid you.
Yes. And then he said, and you, Tommy. Tom, can I ask you a question? Why does he call you Tommy all the time? Did you make a comment in one of your videos one time you don't like that name? Is that why he's pulling it?
Oh, yeah.
You're muted, Tom. You're muted.
Tom, you're muted.
Oh, sorry, guys. No, he's just looking to poke. He's just looking for something.
Not him.
Nah, it's poke.
Come on.
He doesn't know the real name that really irritates me, so I just leave it at that.
Ow, damn it. Someone take the cat. Oh, this black cat, this new cat my wife has. He says, "Unless you hide it from me," and he says, "I sent Don an email telling him I was confronting him, so I bet he hides now and cancels his trip. Will you cancel also?" So Don and Tom are cowards as T-Hay, Noe. What is coming if they come?
Well,
it doesn't make any sense.
No, but that's far for the course. But here, I want to throw something out there. If it's this individual that he should not be named, Voldemort, Candyman, say it 3 times in the mirror, and all of a sudden they appear. Asshole, certainly, Rach. They're banned from North Texas. Well, I don't, and actually all of the alternative personalities, including the individuals occasionally evil and sometimes run games, are banned from the con. So what confrontation are they going to do? Stand outside and yell at the hotel? I don't get it.
Well, the thing is, I don't put it past them. That's the whole thing. And here we go. Hold on a minute.
Okay, so this is from the other night. Mike and I were guesting on another live stream, talking about North Texas RPG Con.
Oh, hold on, Eric. Was that a live stream where you get actual views, right? Unlike other people's channels, right? Real views from real subs?
There were actual views, yes. And Vagina Man came on, and Tenkar and Bad Mike talk about their support of criminals and those who stole from TSR Hobbies. By the way, hobbies should be capitalized. I'm not trying to be a college professor here, but I would have lost something on my grade for not capitalizing hobbies. I'm sorry, Vagina. You're going to lose some points too.
Actually, I think in the Lower Lenassian to English dictionary,
that's proper.
Capitalize hobbies.
Axe. I guess they're from Brooklyn.
Axe, like the aliens. Axe.
It's your mama.
Axe. By the way, this individual likes to make demands. Do this. You know what? When you're behind bars, you'll learn to obey commands too. Just saying that one goes with the other.
Hold on, man. Let's see. Phil Gamers. Scott Mulder says, "Hello, team. Scott, thank you for coming." And Big Vic. By the way, congratulations. I see you're getting your game out and into the masses here pretty soon. The Big Vic says, "I'm surprised YouTube doesn't have a mechanism to get rid of trolls like this." They do, but it takes forever to really get these people to remove these morons. Too much of that untaxed trailer hooch.
Nice.
Scott might have won the internet battle for tonight on comments. Guys, in the comments, you got to do better than this or you're going to get the prize.
Only losers pay taxes. I tell you this. Taxes are for the common man.
But then he sends out an anonymous mail. And this is what really intrigues me about this. Supposedly, he says, we are emailing Tommy, I'm like, well, whatever, and Eric the Crooked Cop, watch, see. God, you naturally want to speak properly. I can't even read the damn email.
Stop trying to translate it. You do it a disservice.
Okay.
You have to present it in the original form. And by the way, it fucked me over when I tried doing it the first time too.
Okay, I'm going to redo this, okay? Deep breath, Don. We are emailing Tommy the Finger Sniffer and Eric the Crooked Cop. Watch, see if they tell you they got emails. I bet they will not tell you. They know Donnie. They know it's all you. Then he said, you are VGAPMI1895. You have been sending anonymous mail to yourself. You are Chad's Revenge. That tells me it's him because he would not have pointed that out. And then you are the one who sent yourself a letter in 2021, which I will describe what that is because I was actually asked by a few people via PM. And then I stole $40K from Justin Lanasa. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about I stole the game 40K from Warhammer. Go ahead, there, Tom.
I got two questions on this because, like, I don't know what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, it was $500K, $500,000 you stole. Mm-hmm. And now it's 40K. I mean, we can't keep the number.
Well, it was also 30K to the Battle Creek Police Department, Sheriff's Department.
That's right.
It's a friends and family discount that you're getting now. Okay, you're being brought in. You're being liked now. Come in. Come join me. I'll give you a 90% discount on the cost.
Yeah. Now, regarding the one who sent yourself the letter in 2021. Just so everybody know, back in 2021. Go ahead, Tom. You had another question?
Well, my question is that so in 2021, you got this threatening email threatening you to not work with New TSR and Justin Lanasa.
Yeah.
You sent if I follow the logic, you sent yourself a letter, an email threatening yourself to not work with Justin, but then you ended up working with him. Yeah. And only to realize you needed to get out of that relationship.
Yeah.
This makes no sense. You sent a letter to yourself to threaten yourself to not work with him, but then you worked with him.
All right.
Yep.
Tom, I will tell you exactly how this will make sense. Get your meth pipe, take a nice deep drag. It makes perfect sense.
You just have to.
The interesting thing about this, though, about this whole letter thing is looking back at when I got the letter, what was very interesting is I get the letter and I'm on a video call with Michael Hovermail. And I was actually embarrassed that I got it because I didn't want to approach Justin with it because I didn't know Justin at the time. I was brand new. And I didn't want to insult the man by saying, hey, I got this letter because I didn't want to embarrass him how I'd react. And I told Mike about it. And Michael was like, oh, we're going to war now over this. And I'm like, what's going on? He lets Justin know. And Justin really pushed me to do a press release and all this stuff. And like an idiot, I did it. I think, looking back at it, and I got all the convos, all the audio, all the video. I look back at it now, and it's obvious to me what was going on was they were trying, I believe, to get me locked in to want to work with him. Kind of like, tell on yourself, but you do it in a way that makes the person have sympathy towards you, like he's being picked on. Yeah. Because, yeah. But then it goes down to, so that was that. But that goes then down to you stole $40K from Justin Lanasa. Now, is he talking 40 grand as in money? Is he talking about I stole his Warhammer collection? Because the dollar amounts ain't meshing.
No.
Right.
Usually when you lie and you're doing these deep lies, you gotta like keep a list of your lies so you can stay consistent. Well, yeah, I meth pipe, pen, meth pipe. Take the pipe any day. I'm just saying, that's part of the issue, is somebody doesn't have any control.
But think about the logic here. All right. The logic is this. So what I did is I meet the owner of New TSR Hobbies in June of 2021. I immediately begin this manufactured plan that I'm going to email myself bad emails about this new owner to get him to like me better. So then later on, I can go ahead and get subpoenaed by WotC to go ahead and then email myself horrible emails, send myself emails about my own dead daughter that contain autopsy photos, insult my friends' wives and families and kids, go after my wife and kid online,
Yeah.
send my wife's employer bad things about my wife in an effort to get my wife fired so then we can have a wife that's been fired.
Come on, man. It makes perfect sense.
And then I'm creating all these YouTube accounts and these Facebook accounts and these Twitter accounts. And I'm keeping the perfect bad spelling, punctuation, and grammar all in this Malvechian plan to go ahead and to frame an individual who lives in North Carolina and cause him to file bankruptcy.
Are you sure you're not the evil DM?
Wow. No, I tell you what.
Holy shit.
I'm going to be honest with you. If I did this, I might have to brag about it because this is one hell of a
convoluted.
Wow. I don't even think I could keep track of it using it on my. Wait a minute. I'm going to make a spider web of this. Can you imagine how that thing's going to look?
This could not be any more convoluted than if you pulled your intestines out through your belly button, tied it in knots, and stuffed it back in.
Been there, done that.
What? No. It's just no.
Okay, the parasocial audience says, this is a total aside, but it almost makes me cry to think TSR could have been reborn as a legitimate OSR gaming alternative. In the right hands, think of the good possibilities. Oh my God. This is what drew me into it. Because I've said it before, but I remember literally being online and seeing that initial post. TSR is back. Old school gaming is back. I'm not joking. I went out in the living room, was like, Tina, you ain't gonna believe this shit. TSR Hobbies is reforming.
Yeah, I remember getting a phone call from a gamer I know in Massachusetts. He's like, "These guys want to get in touch with you." I'm like, "What?" And I'm at a special ed director conference with Tammy, and I'm like, I'm back at the room on the laptop trying to sign into the hotel.
And you were excited as hell, weren't you?
Oh my goodness, I came back at lunch and I thought we won the lottery.
Well, yeah, I thought Star Frontiers was going to be, finally get an update, a version 2. It never got a proper version 2. And so jumping through hoops and I finally get in touch with somebody and they're like, yeah, don't call us, we'll call you. And I'm like, what? But I think that was Yak that actually said that.
No, it was Hovermail probably. Yak actually did not get involved with TSR anything publicly until the whole Deinhardt fiasco.
Okay.
And then Yak stepped in because Deinhardt was the brains behind all of the URLs and the social media accounts. And that's when him and Deinhardt split, Hovermail was just trying to get in with the company.
Right.
So because Deinhardt was fired, they needed Hovermail to take over social media and marketing, and then they brought Yak in because Yak knew the back end, how to do websites and all that.
So Hovermail said that to me online through a name, but then on the phone he's like, yeah, we really, and got to have you sign an NDA, and so he's saying one thing to me on the phone and something else to me online, and it was just this cluster screw up.
Yeah, well, I think what, and I think time, my book goes into great detail about this, but the documentary, the actual hour and 45-minute documentary about this fiasco is really going to go in detail about this, because this was a very critical time with the entire ordeal here, because that was at just the start. And like when I first contacted Justin, you know, there was the whole thing that Larry Elmore's doing Monster Manual 3 for him. You know, there was Larry Elmore's doing Monster Manual 3. Jeff Easley's doing the new Star Frontiers Reborn. I think it was called Star Frontiers Reborn was the initial iteration of it. That was what they were going to do first. They had licensing from Wizards of the Coast to do Star Frontiers, they said. And that's when it started falling apart a little bit, I think. Back in late November is when they first mentioned the licensing, because I was like, then why are you suing them? Why are you planning on suing them if you got a license from? Because they're going to yank your license.
They contacted my editor-in-chief at the Frontier Explorer, and they said, we're licensed. And he said, all right, show me the documents, and because they wanted to take over the Frontier Explorer magazine. And he said, sure, show me the documents, and we can talk. And then they never did. And I heard eventually that a comment had come from one of the principals that these assholes think they own Star Frontiers. And so that...
they were going after Eric. You early on, weren't they, Eric?
Well, I saw that the Ernie post about the TSR logo. The TSR trademark was abandoned on the side of the road. And a good friend, upon Ernie's advice, was able to pick it up and bring it back to life. And I was covering, because initially the trademarks that were reserved were in Wisconsin. And if anybody knows anything about trademarks, and I know a little bit, not a lot of it, just a little bit, state trademarks are essentially worthless. And but I guess they were placeholders for the federal. But that's when they started going, oh, you can lease a trademark from us. And then I started covering it all. And then once I started covering it all, I got threatened with legal action.
Oh, I'll tell you what, starting when I first heard your name, like in the old official capacity, like through like hate-wise, because I knew of you before then, but that was probably in September, very early on.
Yeah.
Warning me about, because he had a list of people to warn me about, to do not go on their vlogs because they trick you when you go on their shows. And I'm sorry, I admit it. Okay, listen, I was an idiot. I believed him.
Right.
Because I was, here I am. I mean, I grew up, and you guys the same way. We're all in our mid-late 50s. I grew up, and names like Easley and Elmore are just legendary to me. And here I am being told, Larry Elmore, we're all going to go, and at the convention coming up, Larry wants to take us all out to dinner and everything. I'm like, I'm going to be going out with dinner with Larry Elmore, man. Can you believe that?
Sadly, no, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway.
That Larry Elmore was doing all the artwork for Star Frontiers.
Yes, he was going to do all the artwork for Star Frontiers, and Jeff Easley was going to do the cover.
Yeah. Well, I was not told about Easley, but I was told, I says Elmore's doing all the work, and so now, and you're telling me now, they were promising he was doing the Monster Manual, and I'm thinking, like, they'll just say anything anytime they want. They'll just say anything.
Well, that's the truth of it, guys. That's the problem, is they will say and do anything that they have to in order to get what they want. And that's the really scary, sad part about all of this. There we go. That's like this stuff happening right now. I think the problem here is, hey, Johnny D, thank you for tuning in. And I want, if you guys disagree, I'd love to hear the counter argument to this. But my thinking is the reason why these communications are becoming so flawed and fragmented is, no matter how organized you are, a lie is a lie. And you have to lie constantly to cover up the other lie, and that covers up. And I think he's losing track of his bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
And, the very notion, like with Eric, or even you, Tom, the very notion of one of us sending negative communications like nude, like AI adapted nude imagery and stuff to our wife's employer in an effort to get him to have a bad name is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, it's like saying, I'm going to chop my foot off so you can't chase after me. Yeah, just makes totally no sense at all. But so, any rate, but that's basically what's going on. Is just the yahoos that they are. They just can't get their lies straight.
Well, Eric got a good video on this 2 days ago. I thought that was quite a good video you did.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I listen. Again, we have suspicions as to who may be behind this stuff. Of course, do we know to the point where I can come out and say it was Colonel Mustard in the library with the fake email addresses?
No, it was the Chinaman with the crack.
But my question, but this proves a point here. Why will you not say that, Eric? Why are you not going to come directly out and say it? Because you have integrity. Right.
Well, no, according to the anonymous email that you received last month, I apparently believe in stealing blow, beating people to a pulp, and hookers in my car. Besides the fact, always hookers. And besides the fact that I haven't, driven a patrol. I was a sergeant, by the way, so I haven't driven a patrol car myself since 2002. And that's when I worked in Hunt Point. And yes, there were hookers. And no.
Well, out of curiosity, I did make a Google search. I said New York City hookers in the 90s. Oh, man. There's some desperate people in New York City, man.
If you can find the HBO special, was it Hookers of Hunt Point? Hose of Hunt Point. Thank you, Rach. Hose of Hunt Point.
Is this real? I mean, really, it's a real.
It's real. It's real.
It's on the YouTube now.
Oh, it's on YouTube now. Oh,
okay. It's called Hose of West Point.
Hunt Point. Hose of Hunt Point. And
prison one. I can't remember what that was.
The school. I met the school teacher that you're gonna see. She did actually put her kids through college by working the streets. So God bless her. I don't know if they had Stacy, who we considered the training hoe, because she was like their mother. No,
you're being serious?
Yeah. No,
there's a whole culture.
There's a whole culture. It does exist, and Hunt's Point was it was rocking, and no, as I live and breathe, no.
I'm sorry, but we're literally talking about this. I'm looking for an image for everybody. Okay. And I end up coming up with, I got to show this picture. Eric, my apologies, but we'll all go ahead and get this. By the way, this is not a safe for your work image. It's not nudity or nothing. It's just funny. Speaking of, this was one of the alternative cards that was sent to me, pulled off from Discord. Eric, I present to you, sir.
10-car anus smasher. Ooh. Hey, that wasn't in my set, damn it.
No, it wasn't. But there's still hope. It could possibly be in the new version of the game. You never know.
That's a limited edition collectible, folks. If you if you come into possession of one, you bring it to a convention, I will be happy to sign it.
God.
I'm sorry, the idea of Mr. 10-Car, can I get your autograph, please, on my card here?
Your 10-Carian anus smasher card.
From the Midnight Auction.
Oh yeah, that's like I wonder if we could get that blown up for the midnight auction at North Texas.
Oh,
Think that could
I can
raise-
make a massive card out of it.
I think that could.
For
Oh
the
my
midnight
God.
auction, that would be awesome.
That would be. Oh my yeah. I guess I'd have to be the one holding it up and dancing around with it. Like, everybody get a good look.
We'll put devil horns on.
The bidding on that's going to go
No,
high.
we're not wearing speedos for it, Rach.
I don't know. You might be able to get quite a bit of money out of that one. Now that would be kind of hilarious.
That would be hysterical.
Oh, no,
So I want to comment on this.
Knock yourself out, Tom. You take the lead. I gotta find something here for you guys.
I think Shakespeare had it right when he said, "Methinks the woman doth protest too much." That when somebody makes such a big deal, and they're so obsessed with pedos, anus smasher. I really think that if this is their subconscious leaking stuff out, this is just Vagina Man telling us what his problems are, what his fetishes are, and what he hopes for. It. That's what I really believe. That Shakespeare had it right.
Yeah, no, it's certainly something along those lines. Whoa!
He knows what's
We were gonna get a screenshot up there, screen share.
You're getting a screenshot here in a moment.
Okay, Don was teasing. You
Yeah.
tease.
Well, it goes back to talk about Ernie Gygax. And there was confusion about his real role in the Dungeon Hobby Shop and TSR. And I have been corrected more than once online by people very vehement going, don't run your mouth unless you know what you're talking about. That was one quote. Okay. I was also told that no, Ernie never was a part of a partnership or anything of the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. That's all bullshit. That's basically the Samora crook doing it. But I present to you, when it comes from the horse's mouth, you cannot argue it. This is a post made September 7th, 2021 by Ernie himself saying, high school gaming friends as well as members of the orchestra Jeff Duck Leeson and Ernie Tenser Gygax, 2 of 3 partners in the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. This is going to be a point that I'm going to make to people out there who, and I'm talking about mainly a small core group of people attached to this fiasco. I have, as my friend Eric likes to say, I have the receipts. And I have it all. And if you're going to call me a liar online, I'm going to prove you wrong. What's that?
You remember the the phone conversation that Ernie had? Where he with Scott, where he's talking about trading shares in TSR in the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. So now, if you've got shares, which, by the way, in the bankruptcy case, that apparently never came up, but if you've got shares, that means that you are a part owner.
That's right.
Well, shares were the big discussion among Michael Hovermail, Ernie, and Duck early on in 2020. Well, the fall of 20. Early on when I was involved with them, and the idea was when they start talking about divvying up shares, there was a question made by Duck and also Hovermail going, wait a minute. You guys are doling out my shares without my permission or my say so. How can, how many shares are in this company? Because I wouldn't do it for shares. I was like, you're just going to pay me flat amount of money. I don't want a percentage. I want nothing like that. And thank God I did it,
Oh, you would have been screwed.
Well, I've already got screwed to the tune of over $7,000, but, a parasocial audience says, on another tiny channel I follow, I was one of about 3 viewers to see their trans interview fiasco. Yeah, that was the one where Ernie, wasn't he having that discussion?
Yeah.
Where he kind of stepped in it pretty heavy.
Open mouth, insert.
Yep.
Anus.
Johnny D goes, you get a lawsuit, he gets a lawsuit, they get a lawsuit, everybody gets a lawsuit.
Thank you, Oprah.
Thank you, Oprah.
Basically.
Jinx.
Oh no, my dog's going to.
It's under the chair. You all got something under the chair for you.
Yeah, basically. It's just crazy. I don't even understand what they're doing. Johnny D says, forgets which lie he was told to who whenever eventually it's Pizdets. Hold on a minute.
I don't
Gotta
know.
catch up on comments.
It's interesting.
Scott, I love the new pilot you come up with. And then Calvinoni, thank you. Do they have teeth? I think he means the hookers.
Selling
Yeah.
point. I'm telling you right now.
It could
They
be a
would tell
selling
you,
point, yeah.
I'll take out my teethuses. No.
Does that do you get like a bonus for that? Like $5 more? I don't know. Calvinoni has a pornographic memory. So do a lot of us. Not me. Blue DM, Blood M, thank you for tuning in. He says, make it like one of those North Texas RPG Con logo stands on the 6x6 fabric stand.
Ooh.
Oh, those big ones?
Yeah.
I wish I could print 6 foot by 6 foot. That'd be awesome. We're all over 50. Anal linking is more and more a concern. Jesus. On the vlog of many things, we get into many things. But
even anal leakage.
Anal leakage must be a thing. But
Well,
but basically he's been all over the place. But you know what? Enough of our good friend and fan
Vagina Man.
Vagina Man.
Phenomena.
Vagina Man. Phenomenon. Ack. So also we wanted to kind of get into a little bit, and I know Eric has to leave here shortly. He's got a Discord hookup that or that didn't sound right, sorry. He's got a Discord hangout. You guys want to talk about kids in gaming or alignment real quick before Eric goes? Eric, your choice.
No, that's not my choice. I'm the
It is your
guest.
choice. You're the
I'm
honored
the
guest.
guest.
You're the guest.
Okay, let's start off with alignment because this is more gaming oriented, and then we'll get in with the kids later on after the thing. Okay, with me, I'm not a fan of alignment, and I've never been a fan of alignment in gaming. To me, it's too restrictive. And very early on, and I don't know about you guys, but I got kind of a thing from GURPS, and that is I changed out alignment for quirks, character flaws and such. What are your guys' take on that, Eric, Tom, and what do you guys, like it, don't like it?
Well,
Our viewers, what do y'all think?
When I did Swords and Wizardry Light, one of the first things I jettisoned was alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And I jettisoned alignment not because I necessarily dislike it, but it's a whole concept that you have to essentially teach, right? Because it's a gamified thing. So in one way, it's black and white, but in reality, what you think is lawful good as a DM, your player playing the paladin is going to think lawful good is something different, and
it's up for interpretation too much.
Yeah,
I can be fluid or like situational.
Yeah, no, alignment doesn't fall into that. So I've always seen alignment as something that historically, going back to my teenage years, if you were gonna argue over something in the game, DM the player, it's I don't think you're playing your alignment properly. Well, go F yourself. I know exactly how to play my paladin. Yeah. My ranger would kill all the orc babies. It's like,
well, I mean, some of these knights who are what paladins were based off of from religious orders were not above just slaughtering men, women, children.
Well, yeah, it wasn't. That's the other thing people realize. It's not like it's like they say the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar massacred men, women, and children. You know what I mean? I mean, they did that too. Not all of them were the what do you call it? The Knights of the Round Table. And honor and integrity and all that.
I just went to spam a lot. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, but no, I like alignment. I like a general 3-point alignment system.
Really.
I like BX alignment, which was law, neutral, chaos.
Explain it to people who don't know it, Tom.
So
first of all, for everybody who doesn't know, what is BX?
Basic Expert D&D that came out in conjunction with AD&D at the same time. Now, Holmes basic D&D was actually a revisit of OD&D, the little books in the box.
Mm-hmm.
But BX, the Moldvay edition, was a whole new game, and they went with a 3-point alignment system, and moving away from that complicated 9-point alignment system where you had lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, and then same with neutral, and then same with evil. You got it that all the demons are chaotic evil, all the devils are lawful evil. But, I don't need that alignment system to play my devils as evil and play my demons as evil. I just kind of like the 3-point system. And maybe it's nostalgia because Moldvay Basic was my first introduction to the game. I don't know.
Well, going through the Mad, thanks to your channel, Gunther, says, I prefer alignment to just represent a general outlook of the individual. Really useful for NPCs and pre-written adventures. Your guys' take?
Yes.
Oh, God. Anything that gives a DM a little inspiration and guidance on how to role-play an NPC is awesome. It sucks when you look at it and you go, blank slate. I'm pulling a blank. What do I do? Give me a hook. I can run with it.
Yeah, well, Terry, go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
I was just going to say that, like, Don, you just 2 years ago wrote Haunted Ruins, a 1E adventure. Did you or did you not put alignment in there for the NPCs?
I did put alignment in for the NPCs,
Exactly.
and the reason why I did that was because the Haunted Ruins is for 1E OSR gamers, and even though I do not like it, this kind of goes back to one of my unwritten rules of publishing: is you got to understand that you're not the audience. There's a much broader picture you got to fill here.
Right. So if I was writing something for 1E, I would absolutely put in 9-point alignment, and I would think about those alignments too. I'd be very careful that I need this character to be lawful evil, not chaotic evil. I would invest a lot into it.
Well, Terry R says, I like using codes of honor or personal flaws, quirks. And see, that's my whole thing. That's the reason why I like quirks, is because, and I know this is really drastic example, but okay, if I asked everybody on the alignment scale, what is Adolf Hitler? People would go everything from chaotic evil to lawful evil, that type of stuff. But think about this. Even Adolf Hitler would probably want to rescue his dog Blondie, early enough in his, world of hate that he did, if it was injured, even evil people have capacity to do good, although that good may be limited or focused. So what I like is with quirks allow you also, I think, to play a lot more. It's a lot more fun. Like, one of my quirks might be like, I'm afraid of spiders. Well, think about if you got a player who has a character flaw that they're afraid of spiders. As a DM, I can use that and play with it against you, because what happens if you run into giant spiders? Well, then I can do a negative to hit. Maybe you're always surprised by them. You can play all kinds of crazy stuff with it. Scott Mulder says, I like a simplified alignment concept. Working on something like this for a new project, either a sliding scale of yin yang icon, good, purity, or corruption, since most characters don't fit black and white.
Yeah. And on this point of most characters don't fit black and white, one of my favorite TV shows was Deadwood. And,
my wife likes that show.
You had the sheriff who was a paladin. He was lawful good. Essentially you could characterize him that way. And so he was, and people were like, he's uptight. He's got to stick up his backside. And then you had this other character who was the saloon owner who ran prostitutes and drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the two of them had to come together, even though they wanted to punch each other out sometimes, and they had to work together. There are scenes where, you see them talking, and it's like they've come to an understanding, and they know they're working together against a greater evil that wants to destroy the town. And I really loved that dichotomy that they brought in that show, and I loved watching that. It was truly interesting characters. Well, I think they made better characters.
Well, for like you and Eric, when you guys played D&D with alignment, what was your guys' alignment that you prefer to play? I like neutral good.
I played a lot of neutral.
Neutral good, lawful neutral, stuff like that.
Parasocial Audience says, I'll be an OSR heretic. I liked alignment. I thought as a 12 to 13-year-old, it was a tool to help legitimately to make a character, not just play yourself. Yeah, I mean, some people love alignment. I mean, I can see why you'd like it. It's just, again, that's the wonderful thing about role-playing games. Gunther the Mad says, in B, the BX stands for best. I will die on this hill.
All right. I'm starting to really like Gunther the Mad for that comment.
Yeah. Because after all, the greatest sci-fi / type of subject RPG ever, I mean, we're talking about ever made, was what?
Star Frontiers.
Oh, Star Frontiers? I was thinking about the other one.
Traveler?
I'm yanking Tom's chain.
Space Master.
Star Frontiers New Genesis.
Oh, wait, that was
Parasocial Audience also says, otherwise, young players especially don't have the ego differentiation to create something different from yourself. Well, yeah, I mean, again, role-playing. How many times have we played role-playing games where people weren't role-playing? A lot.
Well, I just played with kids, and I put a few things on the character sheets that some of them riffed off of and went crazy with, and they were clearly role-playing, and it was funny. It was truly funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing is I just think that alignment, in gaming, and everyone can do it themselves. Of course, that's a beautiful part about gaming is we all can do our own thing, but like with Blades of Sorcery, alignment's not part of the game. So, and I'm just going to pre-warn everybody, one of my suggestions for the oncoming game will be try to implement some type of quirk system in it, but that's just going to be my hill that I'm going to try to stand on and wave my flag on.
Sure.
But
yeah, and that's like anything else. Use it or don't use it. Toss it out if you don't like it.
The golden rule of role-playing games, and this is something that really bothers me. I get really annoyed with it when I see experienced players in groups on Facebook going, well, I don't like this rule, so what do I do? And it's like, have you read the DMG? Have you read the appendix in the back, Appendix M? You know what you do? Remove it. Don't use it. Change it. What's that, Tom?
I said Gary told you what to do.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
This is some homemade Fireball whiskey.
Oh, that's it. Oh, no. Homie don't do Fireball no more. Nope.
Syrup and cinnamon sticks in the whiskey to sit for a few weeks.
I use a decent whiskey, stevia, cinnamon sticks. Beautiful.
I use my wife's cheap Canadian stuff.
Oh, well, all right. I can't go too cheap because then the bite kind of bites.
That's the bad part about cheap liquor. Period. It always lets you know how cheap it was the next day.
Hers is surprisingly not bad. I put up with it.
Now, Eric, real quick, I know you got to go here in a few minutes, but I got a quick one for you, sir. Your niece Shannon, who comes over and games with you and such. She's what, 14?
13.
13 years old. Kids in gaming. What, in your opinion, is the earliest age that you would involve a child, not in specialized games, because that's what we're developing, actually, a role-playing game for kids. I'm talking about if you wanted to introduce a kid to AD&D or Beckme or Holmes, what is your idea of an opportune age, Eric, for you?
I would say when they want to learn about it. I mean, when I did Sword and Wizardry Light, she was almost 6. And I showed it to her, and she's looking at it, and she can't read. And she's looking at it, and she's like, "Uncle, is this D&D?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "It's 4 pages." I'm like, "Yeah." "You can teach me to read 4 pages, then I can play D&D."
Why don't you pick that board game?
Right, and you can introduce with the dungeon board game. I gave her a bunch of my dwarvenite.
Yep.
Yeah, she was this
Oops.
kid didn't play D&D yet. She was already building dungeons, hiding treasure, and they can't get to here without going through a trap, and a trap will kill them. So then the treasure can't be stolen. I went, wow, okay. Violent games are in your future.
And you know what? There's not a darn thing wrong with it.
No. But again,
Because,
she was interested.
well, and not only that, but you took a young girl who didn't know how to read, and that probably helped her want to read because she needs to be able to read in order to play the game that she really wants to play.
Right.
And you can use that as a segue to get them into teaching or reading, and learning and everything.
Yeah, like Monty Cook had an introductory RPG, which we bought for her, and I played her through a session or two. They were quick
Mhm.
sessions. She enjoyed it. I do think that she wanted something more violent. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with kids these days, because they're more, how do I want to put this? They're introduced to violence, period, in general at a younger age now because of the availability of
Yep.
technology and be able to turn it on and watch it instantly.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then far too many parents give their kids a cell phone at a young age and then do not monitor what they're going and Googling and looking at.
Right.
So,
And I don't think D&D back in the 80s was all that. Yeah, honestly, it really wasn't all that violent. It wasn't like blood and gore and I rip off the head and spit down the throat of this. Or it really wasn't. It was just hit points are a very sanitized way of representing damage.
well,
Yeah.
video games I think have impacted it heavily because video games like Call of Duty, where you can do the gore meter, everything from I don't want to see no blood all the way till I want to see his intestines fly out of his eyeballs when he gets hit with the RPG type thing and such. But what was that you were gonna say?
You
Well,
rip the guy's head off, the vertebrae trailing behind it.
well, and that's the thing. I mean, everybody was worried about, it's teaching kids to be violent. That isn't teaching kids to be violent at all. You know what I mean? What it's doing is it's part of a tactical based game, just like in any game. You play Monopoly. What's the goal of Monopoly? I want to bankrupt Tom. I want to put Tom in the poorhouse. So there's ways of looking at gaming, period, back in the late 70s to early 80s even. There's a lot of games out there where the goal was what? To harm your opponent.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know that protecting kids from stuff necessarily really does that because back when I was, my hypocrisy knows no bounds. I don't like unions, but I was a Teamster at one time, and a guy on the job with me was telling me about his sister. She's so anti-guns, no gun toys for her kids. But whenever the whole family got together, the first thing her kids wanted to play with were the guns. They went straight for the guns.
Growing up, we would, that's the game one of the games we played. It was called Guns. You want to go play Guns?
Hawaiian Indians or Army men, we played
Yeah.
out in the woods
Yeah.
and pretend to shoot at each other. But my friend thought it was so funny that her kids were raised with no violence, and that was the first thing they wanted to touch was the toy guns when the whole family got together. And I just don't know that type of protection actually does anything.
Well, Scott Mulder says it best. Classical literature is filled with violence.
Yeah.
Like I remember very early on, in the UK in school, we had to read Robinson Crusoe in order to do a book report. It was just a little gritty book about that thick. And I remember, they had the word Negro in there. Well, that's been scrubbed now out of books. And it had things like, the slave trade and talking about the slave trade. And we've all read, the original. We know the things that were in there. And it's kind of funny that type of content these days people are so in an uproar about. But they'll have no problem giving their kids access to something like Snapchat, where basically, your messages are secret, they get dissolved, and you have no way to track what pedophiles are trying to get to your kids.
Right.
You know, but yet don't have a book, a classic literature book, with, you know, verbiage in there that now we have deemed that you can't even say it because you're somehow be bad and you're somehow a racist or anything. And, you know, I just think that, you know, like you said, hypocrisy knows no bounds in society these days. Parasocial Audience says, my other heresy, D&D is really anti-religious. How many times do how many times do adventure writers justify slaughtering people because they worship another god? Cult membership. Well, yeah, it's one of the foundation blocks of role-playing games is you got to have the bad guy. You got to have the adventure, you know, the goal type thing. You guys are completely normal.
I think you does protest too much.
Yes. Calvin also says the world isn't sanitized. Wear a helmet. Exactly. And then says drag queen story time is just fine. You know what? It's all on what you want to make it. You can be offended about anything. Okay. You know, I can take, well, it's a bad analogy because it's already done, but like I can take like the Little Mermaid and turn it into something negative if I wanted to. You know? But, you know, at the end of the day, gaming is about you, I think, about what's good for your players. Tom, what are your boundaries? Eric, what are yours? What are mine? We all have different boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's what you and your group are comfortable with. Eric, you look like you are getting ready to scoot because you keep looking at your clock.
No, I keep looking at my other screen.
Oh.
I'm multitasking. I'm not looking
Oh,
at
so we don't have your undivided attention.
Hey, hey. Oh, now you got my wife beating on my ass from behind. Watch out, Rich. I might put a booking photo up for you. Just make one up.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think and this is one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of role-playing games and gaming just period, because true gaming is just you sitting at a table or even on a computer like we're doing right now, just three friends talking, having fun. But the difference is in a game would be all gaming, having fun and everything. And I think that if more people did that, then I think the world would be a better place. Cal says also, watch the interview with Rob Kuntz in Diversity and Dragons. I've never watched it. Is it a good, have you guys watched it?
No, I didn't know he was on.
I'm going to have to write this down. Boy, 3 things now I got to watch.
It's a good thing that you're making all the notes for us, Don.
Well, the thing is, so far on my notes, I want to watch about the hose on YouTube. And then from watching Hookers and Hoes all the way up to now, I'm going to watch Rob Kuntz in Diversity of Dragons. But
so let's transition to kids before Eric leaves. Or
yes,
Eric's leaving.
I'm going to bow out.
Okay, Eric, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show,
really
okay?
Appreciate you guys having me on.
And by the way, everybody, please swing over to 10 Cards Tavern and hit a like and subscribe on his video, okay, guys?
Yes, please.
Right here, right now.
All right. Eric,
Right
thank you, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. And we've got... Okay, Tom, take it from here. This is your.
I volunteered, the paraprofessional at the local school who runs the D&D club there. I was like, hey, I'd be happy to come in and help out. And, she was like, oh, great. And then, like, nothing. And a week ago, she goes, you volunteered, so here you go. And they were having a field day. And so it was basically going to be like almost a 6-hour D&D session. And she knew that I was into sci-fi, so she found this D&D 5e sci-fi adventure. I didn't think it was very good, but she found it for free and gave it to me, and I'm like, I think I can do something a little bit more fun for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I adapted...
Real quick, I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking for something for you.
I adapted Star Frontiers to 5e rules and had like a total like a brain explosion where I went, oh, this is how I would do that. And so it was an incomplete adaptation, but I kind of was like, oh, I got the total skill system ported over and the
Okay.
checks and so I did that for the kids because I knew they knew 5e, and that would just be easiest for them to adapt. But you know what? One of the best things that actually one of the smart things I did was the good wife told me, she said, you talk Star Frontiers and other people just can't follow along. And so she made me print pictures of the aliens in Star Frontiers, the Versk, Gazarian, Drolocytes. And I just taped them up on the wall next to where we were playing. And then I did a quick, all right, so these are the species. And I was like, this is the Drolocytes, this is what they look like. And they're basically this. And this is the unique thing about them. And I didn't go into all the details, but I gave them the unique stuff. And then I did Gazarians and Versk. And I knew from past experience that most players play human, from different surveys that have been done online, and that just most players are like, I don't know how to get into an alien mindset. I'll just play a human. And so I assume these kids...
Real quick, isn't that funny how people are intimidated and they don't realize it doesn't matter. There is no alien mindset. Run with it and have fun. Be you.
Well, the truth be told, the Star Frontiers aliens are the fractured pieces of the human psyche. Honestly, it's what they really are, and so they're very relatable. So I assume the kids would do the same, want to play human. And the funny thing is and I didn't have time to do up enough character sheets of like, here's 2 Drolocytes, here's 2 Gazarian, and I didn't even get any verse done. And so right away they're like, they all wanted to play Versk and Drolocytes.
Do you know, and whenever you're playing Star Frontiers, Drolocytes usually are in the top 2.
Right.
I notice in gaming I've played, it's a popular race to play.
Yeah, people like them, and the kids wanted to play them, and so I was like, oh my god, I'm sorry guys, I didn't get any Versk player. I had pre-gens because it was going to be too much time involved, and I wanted us to have 2 distinct pieces to the adventure, 2 distinct encounters to play out. And I knew that player character creation would take too long and sabotage that. And you didn't really need the player character sheet for the first part because it was a space battle. So we did do some skill checks, but you didn't really need the player character sheet. And they absolutely ate it up. They loved it. And they were like, where can I find this? And I'm like, well, and I'm like, just so you know, when you see the actual Star Frontiers books, the rules are going to be different than what I presented today. Because yeah, sure. No, we like this game. This is good. We want to play this. And I'm like, okay, send me an email and I will hook you up with some free copies of the rules, and I'll take care of you and point you at some links. They absolutely ate it up, and it proved something that was said to me by a game designer once. A friend of mine who was a game designer, Larry Moore, over at Dorks with Dice, working on Frontier Space, and he went to a convention and talked with the game designers who did Witch Hunter, The Unseen World.
Oh,
he's talking.
Were they the ones who did that?
The Witch Hunter, The Unseen World was, I don't know what company that is. I have played the game, but he talked with them, and they said the rules don't matter. It's the setting. The setting is what matters. The rules don't matter. And so Larry came back and said that to me, and I'm like, no, Star Frontiers matters. But honestly, it's really the setting that I love, and I had just as much fun playing 5e as I have playing D100 rules for Star Frontiers.
Really?
And, yeah, we had a blast, and the kids did funny, unexpected things like, because Drolocytes are jokers, I put on one player character sheet a whoopee cushion, and so they're boarding this ship, and
you made it fun for your players.
Well,
i.e., you're being a DM.
Well, that was just in character for the race, so I put it in there. We'll see what they do with it. So, they're boarding the ship. They hotwire the airlock. It opens, but one of the pirates throws a smoke grenade.
Wait a minute, stop, real quick. So the kid's idea was to hotwire it.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That right there, man.
they did a check to try to hotwire the door, and I'm like, yeah, you can do that.
That's
And so the pirate threw a smoke grenade, which bounced off the door as it was opening and didn't go through and bounced back at them. So I was like, there's this wall of smoke. Well, you can't shoot a laser through it. So this guy, he goes, I blow up the whoopee cushion and throw it into the cloud of smoke.
It's my favorite.
Okay. You throw
knock yourself out. Do it, my friend.
cloud of smoke. He goes, does it blow it away? I says, well, a whoopee cushion only blows air if you sit on it. So no, it does not blow the smoke from the smoke grenade away.
Good thinking.
So then the guy with the laser rifle says, all right, I'm going to just charge through the smoke and see it, and be ready to light somebody up with the laser rifle. And, and then this kid who threw the whoopee cushion was like, I'm like, so what do you want to do? Everybody else is in combat. And he's like, I want to pick up my whoopee cushion. I'm like, fine. You spend a turn picking up your whoopee cushion because you got to reach around in the cloud of smoke to find the whoopee cushion.
But think about what you're just talking about. You're talking about a group of kids who never played a role-playing game before in their life. And look how quick.
They play 5e.
They play 5e?
They've played 5e. They never.
What grade? What age range are we talking here?
We're 7th and 8th graders.
Nice. See, that's just
11, 12, 13-year-olds.
nice.
And they ate it up, and they were like, where do I find this? I was like, well, you can find it on drive-thru, and you can find websites dedicated to it, and Facebook groups, and I said, just send me an email, and I'll get you some links. They were eating it up, and they want to play it, and I'm probably going to have to go back to that club in the fall, and maybe possibly, I don't know, run a Star Frontiers game because it was so popular. Although the bulk of the kids in my game were 8th graders, so they're going up to the high school. They won't be at the middle school.
Yeah, Joseph Carter says, I think that's exactly it. It's why Warhammer's still popular despite Game Workshop's BS. The setting brings people back in ways the alternative games don't. The thing is I think that one of the things that really make a role-playing game is the GM and the world that he creates or she creates and how they implement that world. And the things that you can show people to stimulate them. Like, I'm going to show you something real quick, and our viewers. This is actually this is a ship that I drew, and this is going to be for one of the sci-fi RPGs, but it's called the Gazetteer. It's a long-range space cruiser, research vessel, and I get like
domes.
What's that?
Those circles with the hexes, are those domes?
No, what they do is they create a magnetic field to fold space. That's how it travels. It can fold space together for long range space travel.
It's a gorgeous ship, by the way.
Thank you. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually 3D modeling that because I'm going to make actually a 36-inch long resin model of it.
Huh.
I'm going to print it. But
well, I would buy a little 3-inch miniature and put it on my wargaming table.
Thank you. They're going to be made. Yeah, that's all I want to do. But that's the whole thing. You got to make it interesting for your players. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing.
Well, what I actually did is I did a lot of adaptation to Star Frontiers because I thought that what we needed was the classic Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yes,
Apollo, the classic. And they were called warriors, and they would strap on their Viper, and they'd go off, and then they'd land, and they'd do stuff. I thought that's the game to bring to a bunch of 12, 13-year-olds. So I like they were all mercenary fighter pilots taking out fighter craft, and I said the best dogfight game I know is Wings of War / Wings of Glory. So I adapted those rules.
Mm-hmm.
Nighthawk's Star Frontiers battle. I used the whole Wings of War, Wings of Glory movement mechanic instead of Star Frontier stuff, which is neither one's realistic for space combat, but who cares?
It's an RPG. Role-playing.
Flying against the pirates and shooting up the pirates. And, so it was they were a little bit worried. Well, what happens if my fighter is completely destroyed? I said, well, in Nighthawks it says that the cockpit ejects like an escape pod, and they just kind of hand wave you surviving in Nighthawks. So that'll probably happen in this as well. And cool. And they just went at it, and they had a blast. Every kid I've ever introduced Wings of War, Wings of Glory to has absolutely loved it. And for the most part, it's mostly my own kids. But they all love it. They all think it's a great game. And I just brought that right in. So it was a nice, instead of over 40, 50 hexes that are, each hex is 10,000 kilometers. They were in a space that was just 10,000 kilometers all by itself. And they dogfought with pirates and had a blast. And they overlooked the fact that I was like, oh, yeah, the freighter's trying to move away and get out of here. Well, there were pirates on the freighter. And when they found that out, they had to then go board the freighter and fight the pirates. So it was a good double whammy kind of game.
Yeah.
And they ate it up. And they were like, oh.
See, that's the cool thing, though, about all that is you basically just took it and you took their imagination and you ran with it with them.
It didn't matter. It was 5e. It didn't matter that it was a bastardization of Star Frontiers with 5e rules and Wings of Glory rules, and
it was fun.
Together, they did classic stuff that I guess only kids would do. They split the party.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, yeah, one guy's going to one deck, two guys are going to another deck, two guys are going to another deck, and combat's erupting, and they're almost getting killed, and I'm sitting there going, well, I've always wanted to oversee a total party kill.
Hey, TPK. It happens.
They didn't die, and they did rescue the politician that was being held captive.
Now, is this something you're going to continue, Tom?
Well, I was playtesting that adventure for WizardCon. That was
cool.
That was a playtest for WizardCon, so I want to bring it, but I think people signing up at WizardCon are going to expect Star Frontiers rules, so we'll just revert back.
Well, it's possible, yeah. But also think about something. You can also implement this in the coming year.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what I want to do. You gave me actually a little inspiration. I actually sent an email out to our local library here in Battle Creek, and I was like, hey, they know who we are. So I was like, we'd love to go ahead, and we would love to do a, like maybe just a once a month Saturday afternoon game, like maybe from about 11 a.m. till 1 or 2, just something, to get kids involved and such.
Keep it simple. And the paraprofessional at the middle school who was running the D&D club, this year, the culmination of their D&D campaign was this competition in an arena. So actually, kids this age, they do want to do PvP. Yeah. They want to go PvP, because in my game I was like, yeah, guys, I'm really not interested in us doing PvP, because the guy was fooling around with the whoopee cushion too much. The guy running the character with martial arts skill was like, I'm gonna go over and kick him in the groin. And I was like, all right, fine, you kick him in the groin, but it's because he's your compatriot. It's not a kick that caused damage. It's just a, hey, stupid, stop screwing around. And, they were like, no, I really want to shoot him in the head now. He's irritating. And I'm like, we're not doing PvP because we just run the adventure. You guys, everybody on board to survive.
Heck, PvP could be a disaster. Well, it is a disaster on its own, but it can be really a disaster even with adults who are experienced in RPGs.
Well, what this paraprofessional did for the D&D club was they were having this arena thing, and so they competed with each other in the arena, and it was like a March Madness, so you advance because you beat so and so, and now and they were going to declare like a winner for the whole club. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And then one kid went and got online and did some maps for the arena that he printed up, and so they had these arena maps, cool, and they really got into it. And you have like two kids who don't like playing with everybody else, so they just play by themselves and they do their own thing. And so I think she had as many as 20 kids in the club this year.
Oh, nice!
And which was what led me to go, hey, I'd love to help out. And I thought she forgot about it, but then at the last minute she goes, "It's field day, and you volunteered, so here you go."
Well, I encourage everybody watching this and everybody who's in the chat right now is, for those of you who have kids, or better yet, for those of you who actively play any type of role-playing game, doesn't matter if it's D&D, Traveler, GURPS, whatever, ever think about maybe just reaching out to a local library, or for those areas that have a Boys and Girls Club, because we still have those local in Battle Creek. Reach out and maybe, keep in mind, I hear all the time people online going, I don't have a group to play with. And I'm always like, wait a minute, if you don't have a group to play with, have you ever thought about going to a library and reaching out and saying, hey, because libraries would love to advertise that stuff because it brings people into the library and say, we're going to have a monthly D&D game coming up, or a bi-monthly, whatever you can do your time with. But I encourage everybody to reach out to, get the kids involved. Let's get the younger generation playing it in a positive way, learning the game in a positive, safe environment.
And it may not be a local library. We have a new store in town called D&D's, because the two owners, their first names begin with a D, so it's D&D's, and they put a D20 on there.
It's a game shop?
Yeah, it's a game shop.
Oh man, why are you not over there?
They sell some miniatures. They have these really slick tables that are actually hinged to the wall, and so normally it's just a fold down table that you could sit 8 people around. But then if you want it to be a wargaming table, they got this table that's hinged and stuck to the wall that slaps right down on top of that, and you can wargame if you want. And then they've got 2 private rooms for a nominal cost. And if you need 3D miniatures printed, they'll do that. They got one charge if you just want to get your miniature into a batch, or if you want to just say, all right, I want to pay for the whole print run.
Tom, why are you not doing videos at this place already? I would be. The paint would not be dry on the walls, and I'd be over there with my tabletop tap room camera.
Thank you.
Shut up, because you're the good wife's over here.
Oh no, I'm not backing you on it, Tammy.
Yeah.
Get on his ass.
I have tried, and he's like, I said, oh my gosh, tonight it's Friday. I bet it's going to be a great group. Oh, it's probably going to be.
Oh wait, tomorrow night's Friday, isn't it, Tammy?
I'm like, seriously.
Tomorrow night, right, Tom? You're going to go over there tomorrow night, right, and do a live, right?
No, I'm going to be drinking wine after the last day of school.
Yeah, last day of school.
Excuses.
But no, he's got to get there.
So, actually, it's not the last day of school, because they're probably going to show up on Monday and Tuesday.
Calvinoni says, cool, I want to be there. Well, Cal, maybe some of us could be there by proxy if Tom would do a video.
Well, you know what? I saw Scott Mulder said WizardCon with all those exclamation points. I'm going to run 2 games at WizardCon, and I think I talked to you about it.
Yep.
One will be a space combat, and then the second will be, aftermath of that space combat. That'll be more Alpha Dawn action.
Yep. Well, we're going to address something that Scott also said here in a moment. Let's hit this real quick.
And so if you play in both games, you can use the same character right through and get experience if you want.
Yep. I'm gonna explain something going on with this real quick because people deserve to know. But real quick, Terry R says a local library around me used to have an RPG night every second and fourth Thursday. Oh, absolutely. Cool. And there's no reason why those can't be fired back up. Most libraries, another place to do it, it won't involve kids. But a good place is if you got a new brewery in town, like a little microbrewery. We have one in, my wife found it online. We're actually going to check it out this weekend. They are a gaming and brewery. You go in, you can rent games, they've got drinks named after games, all kinds of cool stuff. But real quick, Scott Mulder says this: I hope that certain troll stops messing with the venue. Your con is very important, as is a chance to get my daughter and grandson to Michigan together for the event. Long story. You know what? This is me and Tammy actually kind of chatted online via PM about this about a week ago. But the event, it is being messed with. It's being messed with heavily. A certain individual, I guess, has gotten several, probably family members and friends, to also message the venue and talk about what a horrible person I am. A lot of untrue stuff. Just because these people are intimidated because they can't put together a decent convention.
No,
And they don't want to see somebody else do it. So we had a meeting today with them on Zoom. It was supposed to be concluded today. She's supposed to get back with me tomorrow on this, and it's going to be a go. But we're scrambling on our feet trying to get this to be a successful go. It's just, this is beyond our control. I can't stop people from emailing a venue, and these venues are big, and they are very paranoid about public opinion. And when you see things like grifter and this man has stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars from people, that makes people take a deep breath and take a step back and go, we need to look a little deeper into this, and such. So it's a sad thing, we got to go through it, but a message to my troll: all you're doing, my friend, is pissing me off, and you make me want to fight harder. And you're upsetting my wife, and you're pissing Tina off, and you make her want to fight and do it even harder too. You're not stopping this.
Yeah.
You're just going to make us do it bigger and better, is what you're going to make us do.
Which is why Tammy and I want to come out and support you. So we're
absolutely
come out.
So,
and
yep.
I mean, if we're there and you need somebody sitting at a table handing out tickets or T-shirts,
absolutely. I know you guys would be happy to help, and we'd be glad that like I said, we're also going to be doing things like I'm going to be bringing in my own like barbecue and stuff like that. We got all kinds of cool stuff going to be happening.
You also have, just in case the whole thing with the venue, you have a plan B, don't you?
Yes, we do have a plan B. So no matter what,
a Boy Scout if you have a plan B.
What's that?
You must have been a Boy Scout if you have a plan B.
No, I wasn't a Boy Scout. Just my dad was a warrant officer, helicopter pilot, and demanded us to be hyper organized and such. I mean, really, we had to have our underwear and our socks folded the right way to our drawers.
Well, I just say Boy Scouts because in Boy Scouts we used to joke about, no, we're on plan C and D already.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is this: we're not going to let a loser troll, beat us. If anything, what you do is you just drive us to become more efficient. You drive us to become better. Like with you, when someone says, Tom, you're a shit channel, your channel sucks, you're going to double down and go, you know what? Now you're going to make me do even more research because I want to do even more videos and talk about stuff and do it better. Yeah. So thank you very much to my trolls, because what you're doing is you're making us become better. Joseph Carter says, but you do have a plan C4. Yeah. And then Scott Mulder says, I already have my ticket bought and moved a mountain to get them off work. I will be there. And you know what? We're going to fight to have you there, my friend.
Yeah.
So,
and just a little shot. I love plan C4.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good
yeah,
plan.
That's a good idea for a t-shirt too. But you know what? We've been at this now for almost an hour and a half, Tom. Yeah. So at the thought of plan C4, I think we need to wrap this up. Absolutely. What do you think?
Yeah.
To our friend Eric, who stopped here earlier, thank you again, Eric. I know you're going to watch this again. Thank you very much for coming by. Everybody who has commented in here, thank you very much. Please hit a like and subscribe. Please head over to Tabletop Tap Room, like that channel, subscribe to it, and also Wizard Tower Games. Mm-hmm. By liking and subscribing to us, you help us be able to grow our channels and help us become better.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah. And everybody making comments, as you pretty much get the vibe now, we've said this before, your comments actually help us continue with the show and give us talking points and stuff to go over and such. So, and then I'm very happy to know that Tom this weekend will be going by that gaming store and be doing a video on it.
Next Thursday, we might be doing a review on Nomad.
Oh, Tom, let's talk a little bit about that real quick. We got to get out of here. We're going to start doing things like reviews on books and game products and movies and TV shows and start implementing things a little bit differently about how stuff is talked about and stuff. But that's a whole different rabbit hole. But
sure.
Tom, it was great chatting tonight again, my friend.
Hey, I love doing this with you, Don.
Yeah, so do I. So everybody, again, thank you very much. This is Don.
And this is Tom.
And this is the Vlog of Many Things signing off. Everybody, have yourselves a good and safe weekend. And by the way, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Eric's doing his live. And don't forget, Eric's Gamers Health, 8 o'clock, Saturday night. So, Everybody, have a good night. Thank you.